What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to best play a career mode, an individual player within Madden 24. It's not your traditional way of playing a superstar or a career mode within Madden, but to be honest with you, I've been enjoying my time off here after my coaching season has finished up, and I've been exploring new ways to get enjoyment out of Madden. And one of the ways that I found is to essentially put my player onto a team within franchise mode, still be able to control the whole team and everything, and be able to play a career mode that way. And the reason that I kind of bring up this idea or think of this idea is because of how many issues there have been with career mode within Madden 24, Madden 23, I mean Madden for as long as you can remember. So this league specifically here is a fantasy draft league where I put myself on as a rookie quarterback on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to walk you through how you can do this with a franchise mode, how you can essentially create a player, put them onto a team, and not have to deal with the whole player locking situation, not have to deal with all of the specifics in career mode where you can't control what your team does. They do stupid moves. Sometimes it forces you to retire. Sometimes you get stuck in this loop. I've made so many videos on this in the past. There are so many issues with playing just a straight up career mode locked onto an individual player that make it so that it's not even worth playing. So this is the better way to do it. And I've had people comment in the past that this is the way they've done it. And I finally decided to explore it, and it is well worth it. So there are actually a couple ways that you can do this. The first way, the way that I went about it, is by setting up your franchise in whichever way that you want. I set up a fantasy draft. I drafted my Buccaneers team because that's the team that I knew that I wanted to be on. I wanted to kind of bring the Buccaneers to a dynasty level type of team, and so this is the team that I have fantasy drafted for. I established the franchise. I went through and controlled the fantasy draft. I made sure that in one of my last round picks, I picked a rookie quarterback, and all I did was I edited that rookie quarterback to be similar to what a rookie would be if you're playing career mode. And if you pick an early round pick player, and they're going to come in at around a 79 overall at quarterback, I think 21 years old. I made myself 20 because I'm just trying to have fun, but they're going to come in around this overall. They're going to come in with superstar dev, and just gave myself the abilities that I wanted and the ratings that I wanted. I wanted to be a scrambling quarterback, and even if you pick a scrambling quarterback that's a first round player that has the best stats within career mode, you're only ever going to get like 86 speed on that quarterback. I want to play a true scrambler. I want to play like an all-time, like a Lamar Jackson, a Michael Vick, whatever you want to call it, but I wanted to play a legit scrambler. So I now have the freedom with this method to make the player I want and build them from there. So that's one of the other benefits of doing this. And so I simply drafted a rookie quarterback and edited over top of that player. And the great thing about Madden 24 and the fact that they did actually make some improvements to franchise mode this year is that when you actually go in to edit your player, you have full control now to completely modify that player. In the past, you would be stuck building over top of a certain body type, but this year, you can edit a player's appearance and physique completely. You can finally edit their height, their weight, and all of the individual little attributes that go with it. Now, you're not going to get the awesome character creator that is available if you play it as a career. That's the only difference. And for some reason, they still have not ported that over to franchise mode, the actual character creator. So you do have to pick from one of the generic heads. That's what I did here. There's one that at least looks, kind of like me, I guess. So that, that's me if I was playing as an NFL player. But unfortunately, that's one of the downsides here. But there's another way here that you can accomplish this without having to go through the steps of doing all the franchise stuff yourself and then editing over top of another player. What you can actually do is from the main menu, you can go down here to the bottom right and go to the Creation Center, and you can create players from here. I'll be able to create a player and add them to a roster. Now, what you're going to want to do is create this player however you are interested in that player being. I'm just going to call them your name Steelers because there's no point in doing anything otherwise, but you can put them onto whichever team you want. You can go through and select. For this purposes, we're just going to leave them on the Steelers. You can select all of the birthday info, the individual info. You can go into the edit player thing, and you can still do the physique and everything, and you can do it to this level of detail, the same as you could if you did it the other way. But what this is going to allow you to do is put this player on that roster, and again, you can do the attributes exactly the way you want, your ratings the way that you want, and it's going to set you up the way that you need to be. You can save that player, and then when you actually go to save your roster, you can save it as an additional one. You can save it over top of your official roster. I'm going to save it as its own, and we're just going to call it test so you can see exactly how this operates. You'll then be able to load this file into franchise mode when you start a franchise. So let's walk you through how you can actually do it that way, because in this way, you can then create multiple players. We would go to share and manage files. You need to make sure that you actually load that roster that you have done those players on. So we would go to this test roster and we would load the file, and that's going to set it as our active roster within the game. We can then go start a franchise with the active roster. So backing out here, franchise mode, we'll be able to create a new one here, and you can do it online or offline. So if we go to the Steelers and we start this franchise, we'll be able to see that this guy was added to the roster. Now, again, this does limit you in that player creation capability, unfortunately, because like I said, it's going to put you as, and here you go, your name on the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to put you as a generic face, one of the faces that are already inside the game, and you don't get to use the detailed creator that you can utilize within other franchise modes. But this is going to still be the best way, in my opinion, currently to play a career type of a franchise. And now all I do whenever I actually play these games is I play the offense via my quarterback, and then I simply go in here and simulate all the rest by just clicking in the left stick and then jumping forward until I have the ball back. So right here we're on special teams kicking off, then I jump forward to change of possession, defense goes for me. You can switch the speed to slow, and you can in this way actually actively watch your team play, or you again can go fast like that. And now because we did change of possession, I'll be in the game and I can actively play as that player. I would have to set them on the depth chart, of course, to be ready to play and able to play, but that's going to allow you to play, especially if you're a quarterback or a running back. That's going to allow you to utilize those players without having to necessarily player lock into that. But now you might be asking the question, okay, well, what if I want to play a linebacker? I want to play a different position that you're not able to actually lock onto. Well, that's going to be a little bit different. I'll show you that here in a second. But again, I wanted to show you that you can watch your defensive play. This is called slow sim, or at least that's the way that I call it. So we're going to switch this to slow speed, and we're just going to jump forward a play, and that's going to show you guys exactly what this is going to look like. So I played offense. Now I can actually watch my defense work if I want to be a little bit realistic about it and see what they're able to do on their own against the team that I'm playing against, and that's going to present a pretty nice experience within franchise mode, a pretty fun experience within franchise mode that you wouldn't get if you just played true career mode, or if you just played an overall franchise and were trying to just generally control everything about your team. It's kind of a unique way to play the game. So let's say you wanted to play a different position that's not your quarterback or your running back or whatever, and you don't mind not having full control of everything. You can play as those positions, but you're going to lose the control of your team and what the team is doing around you. So what you can then do, there's two different methods here that you can utilize this. You can go to your change role, you can create a different character, or you can again put this player in as they already were. So if you put the player on the roster and you loaded the roster, or you started the franchise and then you edited a player to be the player that you want to use, you can go in here and select active player whenever you change your role, and I can select literally anybody in this franchise. So let's say for some reason I wanted to play as Patrick Peterson, or maybe I wanted to go play as Joey Porter Jr. because he's a rookie. I could select that and I could start playing as that player. Like I said, the only unfortunate side effect of this is then it locks you out of the capability to utilize anything else within your franchise. You can't control your team or anything like that, but what you will avoid is all of the issues of the forced early retirement and the story aspects of the career mode and whatnot. This is going to avoid a lot of the other issues that could potentially be present out there, because this is just straight up being utilized through franchise mode, and all of what franchise mode has to offer just pared down to a single player. Now, what you could do, and this is going to open up the customization options for you if you really want to customize the way your player looks, is again, I can retire and create a new character, and I can create my own character. So let's say I wanted to change my role to, some type of created cornerback or safety or something like that. I can do that through this screen. Again, you can pick your various different types. Now, the unfortunate part about this is that you can't play every single position. So as you can see here on offense, we have wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, and running backs. We don't have any O-linemen. Not that you would want to play an offensive lineman anyway, but on defense, you can play defensive ends, D-tackles. You can play pretty much everything on the defensive side of the ball. But let's say we wanted to play a middle linebacker, for example. We could then pick, this locks in your ratings though. That's the unfortunate part. So you don't have any control over what your ratings end up being outside of picking as a highest initial ratings top pick, an average initial ratings mid-round pick, or a low rating undrafted type of a player. Your best bet is to go with the early round pick. There's really no benefit to doing the other ones, to be quite honest with you, other than the storyline. But through here, you can then edit your appearance and you get the full customizer. This is the weirdest thing that's in Madden, is the fact that they have this full-on player customization tool, but it's just not available outside of essentially career mode. So now I can actually go in and edit the head template, and I can edit everything from my skin tone to skin details, eyes, nose, ears, everything, and I can create a very customized player with the full content creation that is in the game, but is for some reason not available actually in franchise mode. But again, this is going to set you up where you're going to have your full customized player. The only problem ends up being that you're not going to have access to the rest of franchise mode if you utilize this type of method. This is, again, something you don't have to do any of the pre-work for. You could, if you wanted to. There's a couple of different ways that you could do this. There's actually quite a few variations to what you can do here. If you wanted to have the full league be a fantasy draft, if you wanted to relocate all the teams, if you wanted to be drafted in the fantasy draft, what you could do is create your player and then start the league and set it as a start point of fantasy draft, and then it'll draft you into the fantasy draft, and you can utilize your character that you created that way. Or you could do it the opposite way. You could set the whole thing up and do it the way that we've done, and essentially put the player in there and use that player, or set everything up the way that we've done and fantasy draft, and then create your custom player on top of it by retiring as coach and then coming in as the player. There's so many different variations here, but it allows you, again, the most important part is to avoid all the glitches and bugs that come with selecting career mode as your base, or going through this, effectively story mode and all that type of stuff. This allows you to just kind of live in a single player environment while having a little bit more control and a little bit more flexibility of what you actually want to do. And again, the great thing about this is, let's say you get 10 years into this franchise and 10 years onto this player, you can then decide, okay, well, I'm going to retire, and then I don't want to lose the whole league that I've developed and all of the things that have happened in that franchise in that 10 years. I can now go create my little brother or my cousin and play his career out at a different position or something like that. Something that's not available to you just outright in career mode, and all the issues that come along with that. So I just wanted to kind of put this out there, because this is the way that I am playing franchise right now, just to have a little bit of fun, do something a little bit different with the game. And I hope that you guys will find some use in the various different capabilities that you have here in franchise mode that aren't just readily apparent, that unless you've really sat down and thought about it, that you guys would do. You know what I mean? If you wanted to play career mode, you'd probably just go click career mode and create your character and do it that way. You know what I mean? But this is probably the better way, and there's multiple ways to do it if you want to get a little creative with it. So hopefully you guys found this useful in some way. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I know I didn't cover every single little detail in this video, but I tried to do my best to encompass what you're able to do here and how to do it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comment section, and I'll happily answer any questions, or if there's any details that you guys utilize that you want to provide to other people that want to play a career mode like this, let us know in the comments as well. So like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a good one.